Hi there. Today we are going to go over open enrollment. We are going to talk about open enrollment checklists, timelines, what HR needs to be thinking about during this time. We are quickly hurling towards 2026. Many of you are thinking about January 1st and your open enrollment. Even if you are a seasoned HR manager, this is a refresher.
If you're new, it's your survival guide.
Let's just get into it. Hi, my name is Mel DeWeese. I have been working in the areas of HR and employee benefits for over 20 years now, and have helped hundreds of employers become more efficient in their employee benefits, not only in their systems, processes, and vendors that they use, but also with their dollars and cents that are spent on employee benefits. Today, I want to talk about open enrollment because 2026 is just right around the corner, and there's only so much time left in this year, and HR managers have a lot to do. And this is top of mind for me, and I'm sure it's top of mind for you. Even if you are a seasoned HR manager, this is a refresher, a reminder. It's a checklist to help us plan, remind us, make sure we're not missing anything. Taking that extra 15 minutes to plan for the rest of the year is going to save you time, money, stress, angst. Anytime we can make decisions ahead of time is a win. Let's get into some of my checklists. I am trying to generalize for the majority of you. There are going to be some caveats. A smaller employer, under 10 employees, the timeline is going to be condensed. Not as much time is needed. If your employer over 100 employees, the timeline is going to be a little longer. You want to start ahead of time the more employees you are managing. Just some common sense disclaimers there. Also, disclaimer, I'm not your broker, healthcare professional, financial advisor, attorney, or ERISA attorney. I am just a lady on the internet that has experience in employee benefits, and I'm sharing some of the practices that I use to manage my time and manage my clients. This is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. Take what you like and leave the rest. How about that? Even if you are a seasoned HR person, this is going to be great for anybody that's green, newer to HR, but it's also meant to be for seasoned HR professionals, because I may not be teaching you anything. However, I'm here to remind you what I'm thinking about may not be exactly what you're thinking about. I forget things all the time. I have checklists. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I still have to sit down and go through all of these things every year for every client. I will show you what timelines I have and what I use. And of course, please edit according to the size of your group. Smaller groups, timelines are going to be a little bit more compressed. You may not need to do all the items we're talking about today. If you don't have an online enrollment system, you can omit. If you're a larger employer, some of these timelines are actually going to be extended. The more employees you manage, the more time you're going to need to think about any changes that may be coming up in communications, or those communications just have to be more frequent and more detailed. In HR, we hold a lot of responsibility for communicating any changes, removing stress, setting expectations, managing employees, and managing administration. You're the go-between between the insurance carrier, the broker, the C-suite, your payroll companies, online administration systems, Ben admin systems, carrier portals and connections. So much to do in HR. And even if you are a seasoned HR vet, it never hurts to just do a quick review, go over a checklist, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes an hour, depending on how quickly you work or how much space your mind needs to declutter. I'm a huge fan of making decisions ahead of time. I used to absolutely hate planning. My younger self was very impulsive and very fly by night, do what feels right in the moment, which can be fun and make life interesting. However, when it comes to these sorts of things like HR and insurance, I have learned over the years planning, even just for an extra 15 minutes, pays off. I'm here just as a reminder and also as a pep talk to myself. This is for me as well. When we keep things pent up in our minds, it feels like more than it is. For example, when I feel overwhelmed, I think to myself, I've got this overwhelming feeling. My initial response is to get a piece of paper and write as much down as I can. I call it a brain dump. And it's a learned behavior. So when we have all these thoughts, all these sentences floating around, all these to-dos floating around in our heads, even if it's just like 3 things, somebody may come to me and say, why are you overwhelmed? What do you have to do? Oh my gosh, I just have so much to do. Oh, well, what is it? And if you get pressed and you actually end up writing it down, it turns out to be 3 to 5 things, but when it's all packaged in our heads, it feels like 10. Well, in the case of open enrollment, it is 100 different things. It is overwhelming. And because it is more than 3 things, it needs to get unpacked. So we're going to go through a checklist: pre-enrollment planning, employee communication checklist, open enrollment period checklist, post-enrollment checklist. I do have several timelines and checklists I use. If you're interested in any of these, please use the link down below to reach out to me. I'm happy to share any of this information with you. You can also shoot me an email directly. Let's just get into it. Starting soon enough, depending on the size of the group, depending on how many employees you're managing, the more employees you're managing, the sooner you want to start. So onesie, twosie groups, starting 60 days prior should give you plenty of time, as long as you have time to communicate with your C-suite and the decision maker. Groups under about 10, 60 days prior of the renewal dates. Now, if you have 30, 40, 50 employees, you definitely at least want to start 90 days before, if not 120 days before. And as you grow in size, starting even earlier than that is going to be really, if we are planning on making any changes, we want to make sure we have enough time to update the payroll providers and the Ben admin system. These Ben admin systems like Paylocity, Paychex, ADP, all of those payroll providers also offer online benefits administration. And these systems require weeks, 6-8 weeks, to update their benefits information in their system before it's ready to roll out to an employee. So if you do have any of these online systems, this is typically for groups over 100. You are going to want more time. If you have a smaller open enrollment system or enrollment system like Employee Navigator or Ease, it does not require as much time as a payroll connected Ben admin system. All right, where do we start? When do we start? In general, start planning for open enrollment 4 to 6 weeks before open enrollment. Now, if you're a January 1st effective date, this would mean starting before open enrollment starts. So if you're January 1st, your open enrollments typically start December 1st. So 4 to 6 weeks before that, you are going to want to look at this starting in October, mid-October at the very least. So pre-open enrollment planning, this should start about 4 to 6 weeks before your open enrollment. You might just want to send out a little email, something real simple, out to your employees, just letting them know, hey, open enrollment is in 4 weeks. If you have a January 1st renewal, that would be a open enrollment period starting December. It's usually the month before and sometimes the month after, but we want to try to do everything the month before. Month after is kind of like oopsie doopsie, so-and-so was sick and so-and-so was on leave and we got to clean this up. And oh, Susie ended up having this additional coverage she didn't know about. We got to make some changes. So that month after for open enrollment changes is meant more for oopsie doopsies. We want the majority of the employees to submit all of their changes the month prior. So January 1st renewal, December 1st, your open enrollment starts. So 4 to 6 weeks before your open enrollment, you want to start updating those employees. Just a little reminder, hey, in 30 days, 45 days, we have our open enrollment coming up. More to be announced at a later date. More announcements to follow. Stay tuned. 120 days prior to the renewal on our end, we are trying to get the renewal. We are on the broker side trying to get our hands on what are the rates and start negotiations with those carriers and get the actual renewal documents in our hands and in the hands of our clients. The very first step is to communicate with your broker. Your broker should be sending you out some sort of a note letting you know that your open enrollment is coming up and when to expect your renewal documents. One of the keystones in this process are going to be those renewal documents. We've got to get our hands on those renewal documents, and the sooner we can get our hands on those renewal documents, the better. As soon as we get those renewals, we send them on to the client. The client is also going to be, you, the employer, when I say the client, you, the employer, should be getting something in the mail as well from your insurance carrier showing that you are renewing in the next however many days. This is a bottleneck from my perspective. Some insurance carriers are better about it than others. There are many reasons as to why a renewal may not be coming 90 days prior to your renewal date. Some of it is regulatory, some of it is timing. If you are a December 1st renewal, you are probably going to have more time because of the way that insurance carriers release quarterly data. For example, if you're January 1st, you are Q1. So those rates would be released about 16 to 90 days prior to your renewal. However, because it's Q1, those carriers typically can get the February rates out and the March rates out at that same time. So my February and March renewals actually have a little more time because the January renewal is in the beginning of the quarter. All right, so we have a little bit more time with those renewals that are in months after the first one in the quarter, if that makes sense. And so we're looking for these. Hopefully, if the carrier is doing a good job, we're getting them about 90 days before. And if it's a February or March, we actually have a little more time, but there are a lot of reasons why employers do January 1st. Are February and March renewals easier for me as the broker? Yes. But are January renewals justified? Yes, they are. I've gone over extensively in other videos why employers choose a January 1st effective date. They don't have to worry about deductible rollovers. They don't have to worry about max out of pockets being reset in the middle of a year during a carrier change, risking their employees losing their max out of pockets in the middle of the year. There's all sorts of reasons why January 1st is the most common renewal date, preferably closer to 120 to 90 days prior for larger groups. Again, depends on the carrier. Then we review the renewal documents. Whether you get it directly from your carrier or via email from your broker, you should at least open the renewal document, scroll through, and see what the rates are. I understand that insurance is not intuitive. You may not completely understand the renewal document the moment you get it, but starting to familiarize yourself with the layout of the renewal and what the rate increase is. Is it 5%? Is it 20%? What are those increases? Make sure you understand that as soon as you get the renewal document. Doing an analysis, making sure that those rates you're getting in your renewal are competitive. Are there any benefit changes that are significant that need to be communicated to the employees? Are there any significant rate changes in certain plans? Sometimes HMOs have a different increase than a PPO. The dental plan or the life insurance plan goes up 30%. That's been going on a lot this year, where we have 5% renewals on the dental, but the life insurance is going up 30%. Looking at all those different increases from your carriers, assuming you renew as is, and then comparing those to any other options. So getting that analysis done within 30 days of receiving your renewal. Let's say you get your renewal 90 days prior. So we're looking at January. So we go December, November, October. So October, you should be getting your renewal from your carrier around October 1st. If you're getting it in September, awesome. Certainly aiming for September, but October is probably more realistic. Giving yourself until the last weeks of October, if we can get it done in 2 to 4 weeks, some sort of comparison as to what are your increases, what are your current rates and options, doing due diligence to see what the options are, and taking that to the C-suite team and getting a decision from the C-suite team. Hopefully you don't have a D-suite, you have a C-suite. And hopefully that C-suite is just sweet as pie and get you some decisions back. We don't expect decisions back within a day, although some employers are really fast decision makers and get it done in a day. We expect decisions to take about a week. Anything longer than that, it can go longer than that, of course. There are people that go out on vacation. There are people that get sick in the C-suite. There are all sorts of reasons why things could be delayed more than a week. If we can get it done in a week, it should be done in a week. Okay? You got to get those decisions done a week to 2 weeks maximum. Because if decision making takes too long, it starts cascading down to all of the other tasks that HR has to do, your broker has to do, and the employees need to do in this administrative cascade of events that needs to occur for open enrollment to be successful. So right out of the gate, first thing that you can do as an HR person, 30 days prior to your open enrollment starting, get out those emails, just a simple notification to your employees, letting them know or reminding them open enrollment is coming up. Quick little email to your broker, making sure you're going to be getting your renewal 60 to 90 days, hopefully 90 days, push for 90 days prior to your renewal, and get that comparison done and those decisions done before November 1st. Then you have the whole month of November to get ready. If you have your decisions done by around November 1st, you have that whole month to get the information you need to update in all of your systems. Starting out looking at the renewal 120-day notification email, this is something that employers need to look out for, HR needs to look out for from their insurance carrier or their broker. Just make sure that your insurance carrier and your broker are going to be sending you a copy of the renewal as soon as possible, which is going to be 60 to 90 days. Medical renewal, dental, vision, life insurance, disability, all of the employee benefits. Get your hands on those renewal documents October 1st, as close to October 1st as you can, and request a review. Request a review of those renewals, open them up, scroll through them, make sure you understand them, write down any increases. Is it a 5%? It doesn't have to be really detailed on your end, but just make sure you're aware, is it 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%, and for each category, medical, dental, vision, life insurance. What are those renewal increases that you're looking at? If your C-suite decides to do nothing and stay with your current carriers and renew as is, request due diligence on all of those renewals. Make sure that the rates and benefits you have are still competitive in the market. If they're not, know about any other opportunities for your business and your employees to consider. So getting those renewals in your hands by October 1st, and then getting those decisions done by November 1st. Next, once you have those decisions from your C-suite, you can really start cooking with gas. You've got to get your contribution schedule worked out. Are your contributions staying the same? Is the schedule staying the same? Are you going from 99% employee only employer contribution to 95% to help cover some of the rate increases? Are you making any changes there? Get all the mathing and deductions worked out. Are you doing biweekly, weekly? All of those nitty-gritty numbers need to be worked out and communicated amongst the C-suite and your broker. Once those are reviewed, peer reviewed, and everybody's checked the math and everybody agrees on the math, you can update your payroll vendor with the new deductions that are going to be coming out for the new plan year and any plan design changes that may be occurring in the new plan year and the benefit summaries and the SBCs and all that fun stuff. The other item that is very important is your benefit guide. Your benefit guide is going to be used not only for your open enrollment, but also for new hires and potential new recruits. So you want your benefit guide to look professional. You want it to be branded to your company and easy to read and understand. This is something that needs to be updated for the new plan year, put into your benefit portal. If you have a benefit portal, make sure it's downloaded and put in there for easy access to the employees, and decide when you want to share this information with your employees. Do you want it all rolled out at once? Do you want to piecemeal the information out to the employees? How soon do you want to do it? This is something you should be talking over with perhaps your broker or with other C-suite on the timing of all these communications and what kind of questions are going to come up from the employees. So for example, if you send out the benefit guide and say these are your changes and don't prep the employees or let them know where to go if they have questions, or let them know to hold off on questions until X date, it'll cause some disruption for your workflow. You're going to be bombarded with questions from the employees. Just be prepared. If you do send out a communication, make sure you have time set aside in your calendar to address questions as they come in from the employees. All right. Then we've got open enrollment meetings. What are we doing for educational meetings around any of these changes? Are they going to be video? Are they going to be one-on-one meetings? Are you going to be sitting down with enrollers where the employees are enrolled one by one? Is it going to be in a group setting, or is it completely independent? Are the employees independently logging in on their own and completing their own open enrollment on the computer or on an app? Get all those details worked out. Provide SBCs. SBCs are required by law. You want to make sure the employees have access to these, or even email them out and make sure the employees know that hard copies are available in your office if anybody wants them printed out. Translated materials. Are there employees who speak other languages? Do these employees require these documents in another language? This is certainly something that needs to be noted and communicated with your insurance carrier, your broker, and your team throughout open enrollment. So we scheduled the open enrollment meeting, had the educational meeting, aka open enrollment meeting. We updated the benefit guide. We have all of the contributions checked, the contribution deductions checked, put into the open enrollment system, the universal application, whatever you're using, whatever system you're using for enrolling your employees. Those deductions are uploaded, and we've updated payroll. Now the employees can enroll. Are they enrolling one-on-one on your online enrollment system or using paper? Yes, we still have employers using paper. I have many clients in manufacturing and construction that still prefer a universal paper application. Their employees do not use computers. They don't even like to log in on a phone to complete open enrollment. Some employers and HR and employee cultures just prefer to have a paper application, have the employees check it off and sign in person. Whatever method you decide to do that has a deadline, you want it done at least 2 weeks prior to your renewal date. You want at least 2 weeks to update your payroll, because once the employees check those boxes, you now need to go into your payroll vendor and make sure those deductions are carried out and put in the system correctly. We need to be updating the carriers. It takes 3 to 5 business days to get the carriers updated and changes switched around once the system is updated. And on the carrier's end, it takes a day or two to get electronic ID cards available, and 7 to 10 days for mail, if cards are being mailed directly to employees in hard copy. So 2 weeks before, possibly even 3 weeks before, if you want to give yourself more time, isn't a bad idea. Because if you have a culture that procrastinates, or a bigger pool of employees, Sam, Sue, and Joey are going to be on vacation. It's the end of the year. They're taking the whole month off in December. People want to use up their vacation time. It's the holidays. They're checking out. They're gone. They don't want to think about insurance. We have to have contingency plans. If it's not done by the 15th, then we have to assume they're renewing as is. We have to make some assumptions in the enrollment and get it in. And when they come back in January, we'll have to clean up that one employer, that small percentage, that 0.05% of employees. We have to take care of all of the other ones, because we don't want one application holding it up for the rest of the group. That's just not fair. I know we want it all to be right and perfect, but that's usually just not the reality we live in. We have to get it as right as we can by that date and get it all in and get it submitted to keep the ball rolling and play cleanup in January. That's just how it goes. Take it easy on yourself, especially if you're new. If this is one of your first open enrollments and you're an HR generalist, or this is your first HR management or director job, or you're with a new company, it can be very nerve-wracking. There's a lot of pressure on you in HR, knowing ahead of time that you're going to have to do cleanup. It just can't be perfect. With that said, I appreciate HR is trying to get it all right. We need to be detail oriented. We need to get the dollars and cents right. We have to get the payroll deductions right. There are real consequences to getting these things wrong. There's this one employee, they just won't fill it out, or there's this one employee, they're sick, we don't know when they're coming back, or there's this one employee on leave. It's not your fault. There are things you cannot control. We say the serenity prayer, right? The power to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You cannot change that an employee is out on leave. The employee is out sick. The employee is upset and they will not fill out X, Y, and Z. You cannot change these things. So take a deep breath. We have January to clean it up. And take care of the 99% or the 80%, whatever your percentage is. Every company is different. All right. So during open enrollment period, we collect and review open enrollment forms, track waivers and declines, answer employee questions, confirm life-changing events, and monitor enrollment participation. Submit enrollment files to carriers. Let's go back to my timeline here. Gathering renewal decisions, updating, we did that. I mentioned cleanup. Now we get into more of the compliance side. The compliance side is going to be different for every employer depending on their size. But in general, the key points are going to be COBRA, your ACA reporting. This can be a good time for Medicare Part D notices to go out with your benefit guide. A lot of times you just throw those things in the back of the benefit guide because they just do have to go out. HIPAA privacy notices, back of the benefit guide can be a great place. Putting those in the back of the benefit guide can be a great place to put those. and of course Cobra. Those are really the main ones that need to be included in this. Again, it does depend on your size and what type of plans you're offering. But updating Cobra should happen 30 days prior to your renewal date. The Cobra vendor, whoever's administrating your Cobra, needs to know what the new plans are before they send the notices out. So all of your ex-employees who have Cobra, their rates are going to go up too. When January 1st comes and your renewal happens, their rates are going to change. We want the Cobra vendor updated 30 days prior to your renewal date. This is ideal because the Cobra vendor does not have access to your renewal information. They have to be given the renewal information and the renewal rates. And even if they did have your renewal rates, they don't know which plans you chose. You decide to renew as is. They have to be given all of this information. Your Cobra participants, your ex-employees that are enrolled on your plans, they don't know that you have a renewal coming up. They're living their lives. They're trying to get another job or they're doing other things. They don't remember that January 1st coming up and their renewal rates are changing. So they're just going to keep paying the bill. Like vendors just going to keep sending the same rates if we don't let them know that the rates have gone up or changed, or the plans have changed, the carriers changed and all that. So they need to know, Cobra administrator needs to send out all those new rates to those Cobra continuees and the new plan designs and the SBCs and the Cobra notice for their renewal. So it's ideal to get that done 30 days before your renewal. So around December 1st, if you're a January 1 renewal, you want to get that done around December 1st so that those can go out in a timely manner and give those Cobra participants some time to adjust to these new rates, or maybe the rates are too high now and they need to get another plan. The other thing is follow up in January. So after your renewal has happened, January 1st, it feels like it's all over, but it probably isn't. Understand that during January and possibly February, you are going to have to play cleanup. There's a typo in one of your deductions. Even though your renewal's over, you're going to have some things to do in January and February. There's going to be a typo in one of the employee's deductions that you're going to have to work out. There's going to be that employee that was on leave that came back, or an employee that was out sick that came back, or an employee that was on vacation that comes back and needs to make changes, or they decide to make changes, or an employee comes in your office crying. They thought they could afford the plan and now they can't, so they have to downgrade the plan. The other thing that is very important to do is audit your bills. Your first bills that come in December for January, right? Because the insurance company bills ahead of time. They're going to send you your January bill in December, but it's most likely that December bill is going to be off because the carrier probably didn't process all the changes yet. You really want to pay attention to that bill that comes in January for February, because all of the changes should have had time to cook and come through the systems on your insurance company side. And if there's something off on that bill, you need to communicate that with your broker or your insurance carrier to get it corrected as soon as possible, okay? Another thing that gets missed are updating salaries. So with your insurance carriers, as you renew, you want to make sure that all the salary information is up to date with your carriers if you're offering life insurance or especially disability insurance. I see this time and time again. Insurance carriers are billing based off of old salary information and everybody's gotten a raise, and it's like 5-year-old information and it needs to be updated. You want to make sure that those get updated every year, just like with your workers' comp, right? You want to get all those updated. I also did a preparing for open enrollment video on employee questions. That's really meant to be a complimentary video to this video. If you want to dive deeper into this, you want to really think about what the employees are thinking and how to come up with solutions ahead of time, that is probably going to be a good video for you to watch. So please go back and look at that. If you found this video useful, please send me a message. I would appreciate your feedback and look forward to hearing from you. Like the video, subscribe, share with your HR friends, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for hanging out. Bye-bye.